do that. We also need leadership from her. Oh, that is going to be a foul on Jewel Lloyd, and they're going to take a look at that.
Yeah, that might be upgraded. See, Jewel, as she was fighting over, I think felt that she got hit, but then she just went right in. You'll have a chance to see it on this replay.
Minimum, it'll be a personal foul on Jewel Lloyd, but could be more.
So, did the Indiana Fever really lose Game 5? Or were they straight up robbed by the officials? Think about it for a second. Aaliyah Boston fouls out late in what looked like a perfectly clean rebound. Kelsey Mitchell takes hit after hit all night, ends up cramping so badly she winds up in the hospital. Odyssey Sims gets clipped on plays, yet still manages to drop 27 points. Meanwhile, the whistles seemingly only favoring Vegas. If you walked away thinking that game was fair, you clearly weren't watching closely. This wasn't a simple loss, it was a fight through injuries, chaos, and questionable calls, only to have the series slip through their fingers. And that controversy, that's what everyone's talking about. We want to hear your take on the referees this series. Drop it in the comments below.
I feel like this game, between the adversity but also the resilience, was just like a microcosm of this whole season, and did that in a way, like, you're like, oh, we've been here before.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Steph said in the huddle. Like, we're built for this moment. When Kelsey went down, and then we're challenging the call on AB. We've been here before, so it's just so unlucky, so crazy that had to happen tonight.
What if the Indiana Fever's toughest rival this series wasn't even the two-time champs, but the referees? Honestly, that's exactly how the series started to feel. From Game 1, a pattern emerged that fans couldn't ignore. Every time Indiana began to build momentum, the flow of the game seemed to get ripped apart by calls that instantly shifted possession back to Vegas. Think about Aaliyah Boston getting called for those touch fouls, calls NFL quarterbacks would shrug off without a second thought. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell and Lexie Hall were grinding through defenders, practically hanging on them, and the whistles, silence. By the end of the first 3 games, frustration wasn't about the team's play, it was about the officiating. These weren't occasional mistakes. By Game 3, the imbalance was glaring. Free throw numbers heavily favored the Aces, and that's not just bonus points, it completely shifts the game's energy. It's almost impossible to maintain defensive rhythm when every stop risks a foul call against you. At the same time, Indiana was getting slammed at the rim without any calls in their favor. Even Coach Stephanie White admitted the inconsistency made game planning a nightmare. How do you design a strategy when a screen is illegal one trip down the court and ignored the next?
The ball goes up. Aaliyah Boston.
I don't think that's a foul.
To Indiana, and a late loose ball foul is called against.
Are you joking me?
And the fans noticed every bit of it. Even the media started speaking up. Some called it blatant bias. Others suggested the Aces stars were getting special treatment. As the stats piled up, free throws here, missed calls there. It became impossible to ignore. This wasn't random. It was a pattern, and one that was tilting the competitive balance in every single game. By the time Game 4 wrapped up, it was clear to everyone. This wasn't coincidence. The Fever weren't just fighting Las Vegas. They were battling a whistle that constantly worked against them. And if the first 4 games were maddening, Game 5, that's when everything finally boiled over.
Shit was rigged. Like, the Indiana Fever fought so hard, but like, they literally had 8 injured players. They had 8 injured players, and Aaliyah Boston fouled out for phantom fouls, and they still got to overtime. They still got to overtime. Like, you can't deny that. Like, you can't, like, the Indiana, they did everything in their power to try to rig that game in regulation, and Indiana just didn't go away.
Picture this. You're fighting for your entire season, and every single foul call seems predetermined against you. That was Game 5 for the Indiana Fever. This wasn't just about X's and O's anymore. It was about surviving phantom whistles and trying to keep any momentum from slipping straight back to the Las Vegas Aces. Despite everything, Kelsey Mitchell being carried off, Aaliyah Boston in foul trouble, Indiana refused to back down. They battled, clawed, and almost pulled the impossible, even forcing overtime. But you can't play 5-on-8 forever. Early in the second half, Boston gets tagged with one of the softest moving screen calls you'll ever see. Watch it yourself. barely a touch on the defender, yet the whistle blows. Moments later, Megan Gustafson throws herself to the floor in a dive worthy of LeBron, and the refs reward her with an offensive foul on Boston.
Boston do this. Just back her way down. Typically, players do not go down. She makes that contact here. Gustafson goes, gets the foul call.
That sequence alone was maddening, but the real blow came in the final moments. With just 26 seconds left, Aaliyah Boston was battling Jackie Young for a rebound, and suddenly, she's called for her 6th and final foul. She was out. The Fever immediately challenged the call, desperately hoping someone would recognize what everyone watching clearly saw. Just 2 players jockeying for position, but the refs didn't budge. The call stood, and then Jackie Young calmly sank both free throws, giving Vegas the lead and forcing Indiana to finish regulation without their star center.
Ball goes up. Aaliyah Boston.
I don't think that's a foul.
And then there's Kelsey Mitchell. She didn't even get a chance to make an impact in those final minutes. All night, she had been absolutely hammered by relentless physical defense. Arms draped on her, drives met with hip checks, and the whistles, nothing. Her body finally gave out midway through the third quarter. After hitting a 3, she grabbed her leg and had to be helped off the court with severe muscle cramps. She'd already poured in 15 points and was still the heart of Indiana's offense. Yet all she got from Vegas defenders were more hits, more hacks, and zero accountability from the officials. Meanwhile, other ugly moments kept stacking up. Jewel Lloyd shoved Lexie Hall so hard that the arena braced for a flagrant review, but again, nothing came.
Nothing.
This is some bull crap. They're gonna just shove Lexie Hall and then say that's a common foul. Like, this is not unnecessary force. Are you kidding me? If this how this game's gonna go, like, I'm sick just watching Lexie Hall get beat up.
Then there's Natasha Howard, who got raked across the face. And again, nothing from the refs. Odyssey Sims absorbed hit after hit all night, even taking a hard clip on a drive in overtime, and somehow she ended up being blamed as if she was the instigator. The official stats back up everything you saw on the court. Indiana got tagged with 25 fouls, while Vegas practically treated the free throw line like home turf.
3 things I didn't like. Look at that. Smacked her arm and her entire body. Honestly, could have been a flagrant foul. Look at this. And she's gonna scream like she got all ball, like she's so excited. Like, anybody could go through somebody's entire body and get a block shot. Like, you should be seeing if she's okay. Gosh dang. And then, why do they hit Howard in the face, but they don't review these and give him technicals like they do on the Fever? And then we all saw that one. They called that a basketball play. Bullcrap.
Aja Wilson alone went to the free throw line 10 times, while Aaliyah Boston, battling under the rim on every single possession, only got 2 trips. You don't need a deep dive into stats to see how lopsided that was. But here's the thing, Indiana refused to quit. They were missing players, getting the short end on calls, and without their star in the middle, yet they fought every second. Odyssey Sims exploded for 27 points, dragging them back to a tie at the end of regulation. The game went to overtime. Not because the refs suddenly evened the playing field, but because the Fever refused to hand the Aces the win. This wasn't just resilience, it was pure defiance. And that defiance defines the Fever far more than any scoreboard ever could. What truly sets this team apart isn't just their ability to endure the chaos, it's the fire and intensity every single player brought throughout the entire run. When it comes to energy, she's the team's battery. Always moving, always driving the Fever forward. And she's proven it time and again. Thank you, Hall Sims. Pull-up jumper. She nails it. Now, let's talk about Odyssey Sims. This is a player who wasn't even on the roster for most of the season. Signed late on a hardship contract, she suddenly became the heartbeat of the series. In Game 5, she poured in 27 points, handed out 6 assists, and shot 50% from the floor. Whenever Indiana's offense stalled, Sims carried the team, blowing past defenders who couldn't stay in front of her and finishing through contact that the referees consistently ignored. That late layup in regulation, it tied the game and forced overtime, giving everyone hope that maybe, just maybe, the whistle wouldn't decide the outcome. Sims wasn't just playing well, she embodied the grit, fearlessness, and relentless spirit that gave the Fever life when they needed it most.
Fire. She's our battery. She's moving great, and she will drive us, and that's been true so far.
Thank you, Hal. Sims, pull-up jumper, she got it.
Kelsey Mitchell's performance reminded everyone exactly why she's one of the league's most explosive guards. Before her body finally gave out midway through the third quarter, she was unstoppable. She racked up 15 points, went a perfect 3 for 3 from deep, and carried a presence that left Vegas defenders scrambling. Coming into the semifinal as Indiana's offensive leader, Mitchell faced relentless pressure on every cut and drive. But no matter how physical the defense got, she refused to back down.
Physicality to finish over smaller defenders.
Howard turns the corner, whips a pass. Hull gives it up. Sims connects on a 3. Odyssey Sims now with 12 points.
Watching her go down with those intense lower body cramps after absorbing so much contact all night was truly heartbreaking. But in a way, it perfectly captured the story of this team. Kelsey Mitchell poured every ounce of energy into the game until her body physically forced her to stop. For Fever fans, her injury didn't diminish her impact. It only highlighted just how incredible her fight and determination had been.
Can't hit the mid-range. Mitchell pursues the board. Another chance for Indiana. That's been a theme in the early going. Mitchell a 3 is good. More second chance point.
Right around the rim.
Mitchell an open look. She got it from 3.
Then there's Aaliyah Boston, who once again anchored the front court in ways the stats alone can't capture. Even with limited minutes due to foul trouble, she kept scoring, crashing the boards, and demanding the ball inside. She battled relentless pressure on nearly every possession, constantly fighting for position and asserting herself in the paint.
15. Lob it in. Boston. So effective in game 4. Trying to work Wilson on the follow. It's 3. Around and off. Howard trying to tip it, able to scrape it away. Another extra possession for Indiana. Mitchell, that space didn't take. Boston lays it in.
Even with all the pressure, Boston still made her impact felt, scoring in the paint and anchoring the defense, until the refs handed her that brutal 6th foul in the final moments. That single call summed up everything. She was dominating physically, outworking everyone, only to have their chance ripped away by a phantom whistle.
Here's Sims, weaving, Hull dishing, Boston lays it in!
Lexie Hull delivered a performance that sticks with you long after the final buzzer. Battling through a back injury that would have sidelined most players, she still managed 12 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Her defense was relentless, jumping into passing lanes, diving for deflections, and shutting down drives at every turn.
Defense!
Lob it in, Howard. Out to Hull. 6 to shoot. Hull banks it in.
But it wasn't just her stat line that stood out. After the game, Hall emerged as one of the most vocal leaders demanding accountability from the league. Her performance on the court, combined with her willingness to speak out afterward, showed exactly why Indiana fans are ready to support her every season. She wasn't just playing through injury, she was fully committed to the team and the game itself. So what did Lexie have to say about that gut-wrenching loss?
I think that's something we can take away from this season. Obviously, ending on the loss is hard and not what you want, but I do think that we can be proud of the effort we put out there, especially in the fourth quarter, you know, losing Aaliyah, losing Kelsey. I don't even know if that was the third or fourth quarter. But 2 of our biggest stars go down and we continue to fight and send it to overtime. So I think that's, you know, we're proud of ourselves. We're proud of that fight. And it's just sad to see this group.
Then there's Sha Petty, another quiet hero in this story. She poured in 13 points, including 3 huge threes at exactly the moments Indiana needed a spark after Mitchell had to exit. Her ability to stretch the floor kept the Fever in the game, forcing Vegas to defend honestly and giving Odyssey Sims the space to take over. Those minutes were crucial. Without Petty stepping up and hitting those shots, the Aces could have easily overwhelmed Indiana with another one of those whistle-driven runs.
And one Las Vegas run. They have their largest lead of the quarter. Boston finds Turner. Turner didn't want to shoot it. Petty will, and knock it down. The stats have not been gaudy, but the decision-making has been excellent tonight from Greg.
Yes.
Petty, they need it. They've got it. Time.
The truth is, this isn't the end, it's a starting point. Caitlin Clark will be back next season. Aaliyah Boston will come out stronger after everything she went through. Mitchell, Hull, and Cunningham, they embody the grit, fight, and heart needed to build a true powerhouse. What Fever fans witnessed wasn't just a playoff run cut short in the semifinals. No, it was the foundation of a dynasty in the making. That frustration over what the league seemed to take away immediately turns into belief in what this team is building. Maybe the most important part of this story isn't how it ended, but what it set in motion. While the Las Vegas Aces move on to celebrate another finals appearance, the Indiana Fever are walking away with something far more valuable, proof that they've arrived as a legitimate threat in this league. A 6th seed that nobody expected to make waves just pushed the Aces to overtime in a winner-take-all Game 5, despite battling adversity that would have crushed most teams.
Hey, you know, it's sad. I think, especially when you push a game to overtime and you fight for so long, your expectations are to win, obviously, and so to lose is sad, but I think arm in arm, all of us together, we can look at each other and be proud of each other. So it's a moment of love for sure.
Seriously, think about everything this roster endured. The Fever suffered 6 season-ending injuries. They had to rely on hardship contracts just to field a full rotation. Their most important player, Caitlin Clark, missed nearly the entire season, playing in only 13 games. And yet, despite all that, this team never broke. They upset higher seeds. They won elimination games. They marched into Las Vegas to face a fully loaded Aces squad and refused to back down until the very end. That's not the resume of a team still finding its footing. No, that's the resume of a team that just announced its arrival to the entire league, whether anyone was paying attention or not.
Can win. This is a 0-0 game, 5 minutes. We do those situations in practice. I mean, it took everyone. I mean, O had an incredible night tonight. People just stepped up, and I think, you know, when we were starting that overtime, we all five, everyone on the bench, playing or not, we believed we were going to win that game. So I think that just goes to show you that we believe in each other and in ourselves, and yeah, and I'm just so proud of this group.
The foundation Indiana has built is legitimately intimidating. Caitlin Clark will return healthy next season, and her ability to stretch defenses, find open teammates, and score from anywhere completely changes the way the Fever operate on offense. Aaliyah Boston has proven she can deliver double-doubles even while battling foul trouble and constant double teams. Kelsey Mitchell has already shown she can light up elite defenses, and once fully healthy, she'll resume that role effortlessly. Add in Lexie Hull, who has emerged as both a defensive anchor and a vocal leader in the locker room, and her impact goes far beyond the stat sheet. With veterans like Sophie Cunningham coming off the bench to provide toughness and reliable shooting, it's clear this isn't just a promising young squad, it's the foundation of a genuine powerhouse.
How much did this continue to build that foundation for what the Fever can be next year, the year after, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we have a lot of the same players back. You know, it's pro sports is another weird one where every season is different, teams look different, but I think every new player we had this season came into the locker room and felt that connectedness and added to it. So we were really lucky that we had built such a great culture here, and that'll continue year after year.
Caitlin Clark is expected to be fully healthy heading into next season, but here's the thing, this Fever team already learned how to compete at the highest level without her. That experience is priceless. Now imagine her stepping back into a roster that's playoff tested, bonded through adversity, and hungrier than ever. The playoffs may have left Indiana with some scars, but they also left them with unshakable belief. This run wasn't a fluke, it was a glimpse of what's coming. The Fever's championship window isn't a distant dream anymore. It's starting to swing wide open, and that's the real storyline the league should be watching. Even though they were robbed of a finals spot, what they built goes far beyond one series. They proved they have heart, toughness, and the ability to challenge a dynasty, even when shorthanded. That identity, gritty, fearless, relentless, is what fans will rally around heading into 2026. So now it's on us. Stay vocal. Don't let questionable officiating fade into silence. Share what you saw. Keep supporting this team because their fight deserves just as much recognition as their wins. The Fever's march into 2026 starts now, and the louder the fans, the stronger this run becomes. They're coming back stronger, hungrier, and more dangerous than ever. Drop your thoughts about the refs in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit notifications so you don't miss anything. Check out the video on your screen, and we'll see you in the next one.